blast. Teenage dreams and neon screens. It was all rad, you know what I mean. Like, you know, it's like whatever, together forever. We're never gonna sever. Laughing and sharing our stories clever. We'll take you back. It's like whatever.
Welcome to Like Whatever, a podcast for, by, and about Gen X. I'm Nicole, and this is my BFFF, Heather.
Hola.
So, huge news this week. Well, not
I got
huge.
my hair cut. That's huge news.
Oh, that is huge, and it looks super cute.
My bangs are back, kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still living in 1990, maybe moved up to 1997 with this one, but I'm still living in the 90s.
I don't know. You still got the Manic Panic colors going
Yeah,
on.
it is partially blue. Mm-hmm. Although I asked her how much gray was in there. So that, because, like, here's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I want it to be, like, dark with white in it so that when I color it, the white will color and the dark will not. You dig what I'm laying down? Mm-hmm. But she said I don't have enough gray in there for that. So, sorry, suckers. I don't have enough gray.
Another reason for me to hate your hair.
I know. Everybody hates my hair.
Yes.
It's so much of it.
It is. And you're not going gray.
No,
I'm completely
not going
gray.
Anyway, that's all that's going on for me. My haircut. So
Okay.
what's your huge news?
Elizabeth Hurley and Billy Ray Cyrus are dating.
I did not know that until about 37 seconds ago. Oh, no, because we've been on here for a minute and a half. So 2 minutes ago, I found out.
I saw it on like Instagram, and I think it was People posted an article because Elizabeth Hurley's son is not happy about it. And they made it Instagram official. It's a picture of her standing with a very low cut shirt and her boobs squished up, and she has a cowboy hat on, and they're leaning against a fence, and he's kissing her on the cheek, and she's laughing. And I was like, what is happening right now? Like, every time I think Elizabeth Hurley, I still think Hugh Grant. Like,
Yeah.
those two were probably an absolute shit show, but they went together.
Yeah.
Billy Ray Cyrus is a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know enough about him.
I don't know a ton about him, but Miley hates him now. Won't speak to him anymore.
Oh.
So that's enough for me because I love Miley. So
I like Miley.
Yeah. I don't think he's a very good husband
No.
and or father.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Get out of town.
I don't know. She's a little nutty herself, but it just a
But
very
she's
strange.
also a child star, and they all a little bit nutty.
Yeah,
So.
true. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Elizabeth Hurley and Billy Ray Cyrus, I just would have never put them together, but
No.
what do you know?
How about that?
Yeah. All right. So, before we get into it, I would like to ask you all to like, share, rate, review. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. And you know that already, but if I could reiterate, please like, share, rate, review so that we can get bumped up some, because we're pretty consistent with our listeners, and we've developed some followers,
Yes.
loyal followers, one of which newly this week is my nephew. So that's fun. But yeah, we want other people to find us so that
we can get rich and famous. Just kidding.
So we can share all our joy with them.
So that you people aren't the only ones that have to hear us.
Yes, exactly. So follow us on all the socials at Like Whatever Pod. And we are on YouTube at Like Whatever, capital L, capital W, all one word, in case you're looking. We are on TikTok. And you can send us an email to likewhateverpod@gmail.com. Sorry, my brain froze for a second there.
Yeah. And if you all didn't watch, did you watch the Titanic thing yet?
I haven't yet, no.
It
I just haven't been watching a ton of
I
TV.
haven't either. Although I lied. I just lied to you. Because now that I finished my third or fourth run of The Big Bang Theory, I was like, I can't watch it again because I literally just watched it. So now what am I going to watch? And that's when I remembered Futurama.
Oh.
So I am.
That's a great show.
We should totally do a rewatch of that too.
Okay.
I think that we're going to have to. Oh, I also know what I wanted to say too.
Okay.
So we have a buy me a coffee thing. It's like whatever pod at buy me a coffee. If you go to buymeacoffee.com and you search us, we're in there.
I forgot we had that.
Yeah, it's buymeacoffee.com, and it's just, you know, what? Yeah. So just buy us coffee, bro. So I was thinking also, once you people like, rate, review, share, and we get bigger, then we could do a Patreon, and we can do those rewatches.
Oh,
But I do think we should do a rewatch of Futurama because now this is probably like my 10th or 12th time through it. And I have seen stuff this last week that I was like, I did not see that before. That's fucking hilarious. So yeah, Futurama. We should do a rewatch.
all right. So I don't know if I know what's a rewatch. Is it something specific or is it just
So
what it is?
what you do is you watch an episode, we watch an episode, and then we talk about that specific episode.
Oh,
And then
okay.
you do it every week with a new episode. Plus Futurama has like 10 seasons, so we'll never run out of it on that. Although they're
Okay.
only a half an hour, so we probably have to do 2.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I would totally do that. I love that show.
And then supposedly the audience is watching it with you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can, you know.
Okay. That's some of that like TikTok and YouTube stuff, right?
No, most podcasts do it. A lot of podcasts do it. There's like
Okay.
there's Buffy rewatch podcasts. There's
Oh.
actually the thing that got me into listening to podcasts was Zach Braff and Donald Faison do a Scrubs rewatch. They did, but they're probably through it now because they started that like in 2020. So
Oh my gosh.
and theirs is hilarious. I mean,
that was one of the all-time best shows.
we could do a rewatch of that too. I love Scrubs.
Okay. All right. I
Anyway,
like it.
Futurama. That's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
I'm Futurama-ing it.
Okay. Very cool. So let's fuck around and find out about popes.
Popes.
So I originally had planned to do a different topic this week. And as Heather put it, I get all the good deaths.
Everybody dies on her week. It's the weirdest thing.
So I texted her and I was like, I guess I should do something about the popes. It's a pretty big deal. And he was a pretty solid guy. It sounds like I liked what it's not my thing, but I liked what he had to say. And I like that he was saying it to so many people. So hopefully some of them listened.
I do think he is one of the more progressive popes.
Well, his whole thing when I was reading things was, and I knew this before too, that it's not that he approves of the LGBTQ community or things like that, but he says it's not his place to judge.
Yes.
So, and that's how it should be.
Yes.
I mean, but a lot of people choose to judge.
Yes.
Anywho, so my references for this week were ChristianityToday.com, BBC.com. I used a little Wikipedia, which I don't like to do, but that was more so for like timelines. Biography.com and the LATimes.com. So the first thing I want to do is talk about popes that were popes.
Poping it up.
They papals of the Generation X.
Popesicles.
So there have been 5 popes in the Gen X era and beyond, in our lifetimes, I should say. The first one was Pope Paul VI. He was pope from 1963 till 1978. Pope John Paul I, who was only pope for 33 days. 1978 to 1978. You don't know that one?
No.
Okay, good. I get to tell you some facts. The one that we probably all remember, because he was around for
The majority of
yeah. Pope John Paul II, who was 1978 to 2005. Pope Benedict the 16th, he was 2005 till 2013. And Pope Francis I from 2013 until we lost him on Monday. Yeah, I was kind of bummed.
You know, I'm not. So here's my thing about the Catholic Church. Obviously, I'm not a big follower of the Catholic Church, but I love me some Catholic ritual. I mean, when they go all out, they go all out.
Yeah.
I do enjoy all of their.
And everything's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I want to call it rigmarole, but I feel like that's very offensive. So I'm just going to say straight out the gate, I apologize if I offend any Catholics. I do not mean it.
I do too. I would like to say that this is all meant out of respect. I am sharing facts about popes of the past. I am not making fun of anyone's religion. But if you've listened to this podcast before, we have a dark sense of humor and we say dumb shit sometimes. So
I mean, I'm actually a Catholic godmother for reals. Like I am a godmother in a Catholic church.
Yes.
My godson
Yes.
is Catholic.
Yes.
So suck it.
So somebody thinks you're Catholic worthy.
Yep. That's my aunt.
I know. And she loves you.
She does.
All right. So after we talk about the 5 popes, then we're going to talk about the conclave that's about to happen.
That is my favorite part of the whole picking the pope thing. I remember when they picked Benedict, and I remember when Francis I got picked. I was so excited. I watched CNN like all day, every day.
Just to watch the smoke change.
Just to watch the smoke change. Yes. I have no skin in the game. I don't give 2 shits about
I don't
who's
know
the
anything
pope.
about them.
No, I don't know anything about popes. I don't know anything about cardinals. I don't know anything about anything. But that, waiting for that smoke,
it's pretty exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I told Heather that I was going to do this week on popes, she said she loved conclave. So I am doing the majority of around that. So let's get through these popes and what they did so that we can get to the conclave talk.
Blow through these popes.
All right. So Pope Paul the Sixth from 1963 to 1978. He was Cardinal Montini in the conclave after John 23rd's death. Montini was elected Pope on the 6th ballot on the 21st of June. He took the name Paul VI in honor of Paul the Apostle. At times, he was criticized for a lack of assertiveness. Others saw his attitude as an indicator of his thoughtfulness and diplomacy while guiding the church through a difficult new era as he did his best to maintain its traditions while ensuring its effectiveness in a rapidly changing world. After just over 15 years in office, I didn't know they called it an office.
Oh, yeah, they do. They have their own military, too.
Oh, yeah, I think I did know that.
Yeah, I forget what they're called, but it's a cool name.
Mm-hmm.
I'll Google it while you're talking.
Okay. After just over 15 years in office, Pope Paul VI passed away at Castel Gandolfo on August 6, 1978. He was beatified. Is that the way you say that word?
I think so.
It doesn't sound right, but there's no. I want to say beautified. I want to say beautified.
Beatified.
I did look it up for the definition so that I could explain it to everyone, but I did not look up how to say it. But it looks like beatified, but it could be beatified. But anyway,
it is beatify.
It is beatified. Mm-hmm. All right, that makes a lot more sense. Actually, when I said it, I was like, that's got to be how you say it. All right. So he was not beatified; he was beatified, which is the step before becoming a saint. And it gives capacity to intercede on behalf of individuals who pray in their name. So people were allowed to pray to him because he was beatified.
Beatified. It's the Swiss Guard. This is Vatican.
Gotcha. On October 19th, 2014, that's when he was beatified. And then he was canonized, which is the officially declaring someone a saint, on October 14th, 2018. He left behind a legacy of Yep. So that word, and caring for workers and the poor. I really tried, man. I was looking stuff up because there are a lot of words I don't know in this stuff because I'm not Catholic.
Right.
And there are a lot of things that are not English. So, well, not necessarily a lot of them, but they're words that other countries use.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. So I tried.
We'll do our best.
I really did my best. All right.
If you're here for like hardcore facts, you're again in the wrong spot.
Yes. I will promise you I did not change anything, but yeah, I might not pronounce it right. All right. So the next was Pope John Paul I. He was born Albini Luciani on October 17th, 1912.
That's my sister's birthday. Not 1912.
Yeah, Abby. He served as the head of the Catholic Church for a brief period from August 26th to September 28th, 1978.
That's my birthday.
Making his papacy one of the shortest. That's so weird that you and your sister's birthdays.
I know, right? Right
in
there.
the same sentence. Weird. All right. His papacy was one of the shortest in history at just 33 days. He was notable for being the first pope to choose a double name, commemorating his predecessors John the 23rd and Paul the 6th. His sudden death raised many questions and theories, leading to speculation about the circumstances surrounding it. John Paul I is remembered for his warmth and approachability, earning him the nickname the Smiling Pope.
Sounds like a horror movie.
I know. He was pretty jolly looking, though. The pictures of him, I was like, oh, he is cute. During his brief tenure, he defended the Roman Catholic Church's opposition to abortion and contraception, but he also sought to reform institutions and root out corruption. Pope Francis described him as someone who lived without compromise. John Paul I died of a heart attack on September 28, 1978. His death caused much controversy and conspiracy theories due to slightly differing accounts. The Vatican said he was found dead by two nuns, but initially it was said a priest had found him, uneasy with the fact that women had entered the Pope's private quarters. So, all right, I won't go there.
Okay, yeah.
That's maybe a little too far. But
We're trying to be nice here.
trying so hard, but I thought it the first time I read it. Anyway, for an individual to be beatified, a miracle needs to be attributed to prayers made to them after their death. The miracle attributed to the new beatified pope was the healing of an 11-year-old girl after her parents had prayed to Pope John Paul I. In the last 1,000 years, just 8 popes have been made saints, which I thought was crazy because, like, 3 of these popes I'm talking about today have been made saints. So I just feel like maybe people are a little more vain now, and I don't know.
Just slap a saint on
It
anybody.
doesn't make sense that there, in 1,000 years, there have been 8, but like 3 of them were
really
in our
hard,
lifetime.
like because John Paul II was a saint also, right? He's just recently sainted. I don't know. I think there's a lot of, maybe they loosen the restrictions on
Maybe.
becoming a saint.
That's not fair to
Hey.
the other popes.
They're all dead.
Yeah, true.
They don't care.
That's true.
They're in heaven now
Yeah.
with
okay.
Jesus.
Fair. Stop
I
it.
guess.
Stop it. All right. Next is Pope John Paul II, who was ordained in 1946. He became the Bishop of Ombie in 1958 and became the Archbishop of Krakow in 1964. He was made a cardinal by Pope Paul VI. I don't know why I'm tripping up over that.
I had a terrible time with the Roman numerals.
Roman numerals, man. I know, because I know them.
I know.
But I'm still, because I don't know. It's not like anybody else can see this. But anyway, he was made a cardinal by Pope Paul VI in 1967, and in 1978 became the first non-Italian pope in more than 400 years. He was a vocal advocate for human rights and used his influence to affect political change. He died in Italy in 2005. It was announced in July 2013 that he would be declared a saint in April of the following year. In 1981, an assassin shot John Paul twice in St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. Fortunately, he was able to recover from his injuries and later forgave his attacker. A vocal advocate for human rights, John Paul often spoke out about suffering in the world. He held strong positions on many topics, including his opposition to capital punishment. A charismatic figure, John Paul used his influence to bring about political change and is credited with the fall of communism in his native Poland. He was not without critics, however. Some have stated that he could be harsh with those who disagreed with him and that he would not compromise his hardline stance on issues such as contraception.
He also was, I'm just going to do this one time and then I'm not going to mention it again.
Okay.
I think that he also helped sweep a lot of that abuse under the just moving priests to different.
And I agree with you, and I think you're correct, because it's only been very recently that, and I would say probably with Francis, that's not okay anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. And the dang contraception, man.
They just hate it.
They do. It's...
They got to make more Catholics, I guess.
I guess. On July 5th, 2013, waiving the usual 5-year waiting period, the Vatican announced that the Roman Catholic Church would declare Pope John Paul II a saint. Vatican revealed that 2 miracles were attributed to the late Pope after a dying French nun, Sister Marie Simon Pierre Normand, prayed to Pope John Paul II during her battle with Parkinson's disease, the same disease that killed the Pope, which I did not know.
I did not know that either.
And she was cured, which is pretty crazy. The second miracle involved a 50-year-old woman who claimed that she was cured of a brain aneurysm after a photograph of Pope John Paul II spoke to her. Again, can you prove it? No, just kidding. I'm trying.
I'm going to keep my mouth.
I mean, this is a really tough topic for us.
It's very tough. But that's, yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I do.
All right.
We're trying to play nice.
We really are. And we don't mean to offend. We're just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
I mean, we joke about ourselves dying about Heather dying all the time.
Every day.
Murdering, things like that. It's just what we do.
I did almost try to kill myself the other day.
Why?
Because I've been door dashing kids.
Yes.
And I picked up an order with shrimp on it, and I didn't know it had shrimp on it. And then I had to ride in the car with it, and I was like, "Uh-oh, that's not good." But I didn't die. So
yeah,
yay me.
Did smell good though.
Yes.
All right. So Pope Benedict XVI was from 2005 to 2013. He was born April 16th, 1927, as Marktel am in, I think I said that right, in Germany. He died December 31st, 2022 in Vatican City. He was the Bishop of Rome and head of the Roman Catholic Church from 2005 to 2013. Prior to his election as Pope, Benedict led a distinguished career as a theologian. I was going to say a theologist, and then the last couple letters changed on me. I was like, wait.
That's not what that says.
Theologian. And as prefect, I did that when I read it earlier. I was like, they spelled perfect wrong.
I can see how you could do that.
As prefect of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. His papacy faced several challenges, including a decline in vocations and church attendance, divisive debates concerning the direction of the church, and the effects of the scandal beginning in the late 1990s surrounding the church handling of the numerous cases of sexual abuse by priests. So, yes, you were correct. Citing health issues in 2013, he became the first pope to resign since Gregory XII in 1415.
Wow. I got a fun fact about Benedict.
Okay.
He had Doc Martens. Yeah, he wore white Doc Martens that were specially made for him. So if you ever see pictures, he's rocking the white Docs.
Was he a goth kid?
Apparently. He liked the Docs.
So now we come to Pope Francis I. Francis was beloved by many for his public displays of compassion, commitment to social justice, and willingness to shake up the scandal-ridden Vatican. He largely hewed to the church's conservative lines on the social issues such as abortion and LGBTQ rights, but urged clerics not to be obsessed with these issues. His emphasis on God's love and his demand that the church go out and minister to oppressed and needy people impressed even those who disagreed with him. Francis's 12-year papacy presented a stark change in style and tone from that of his predecessor, the late Benedict XVI, a shy scholar who wrote dense theological treatises and saw the church as a holy institution under siege from an increasingly godless, relativistic society. Francis, by contrast, likened the church to a battlefield hospital tending to the spiritually wounded. His call for a poor church also put him at odds with those inside the Vatican who prized the church's splendor and finery as symbols of its transcendent nature. Some conservatives were upset by his choice to shun such trappings as richly adorned papal vestments and the lavish apartment in the penthouse of the Episcopal apostolic palace. Yep. That was another thing I liked about him was he just wore the white robe.
Yes.
He never wore the other. And I would be willing to bet it's because that other crap was heavy and hot. Yeah. And he was like, you know what? I'm humble. I'm just going to wear white.
I'm not going to do all that. He also, I do remember he did not want to live in that apartment. So, yeah. I do. Isn't he the one that he was like the first one to wash a Muslim woman's feet? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw pictures of him doing that. Yeah. I kind of likened him to Mother Teresa when I was reading this stuff. Mm-hmm. She was in the trenches, but I don't know. Just the mindset. It felt like. I don't know. But beneath the friendly exterior was also a leader willing to take decisive action. Vatican watchers noted Francis's determination to sweep clean institutions that had become rife with dysfunction, factionalism, and accusations of corruption. Soon after his election, he replaced key officials at the troubled Vatican Bank and appointed a blue ribbon commission to advise him on overhauling the Curia, the Vatican administration.
I'm pretty sure that he was also the one that agreed that not so much agreed with, but said that the Big Bang can also live side by side with the creation. Yes, because God could have created the Big Bang. Yeah, I think he was pretty open about
evolution.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know about evolution, but I know it was the Big Bang.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
He was cool with the Big Bang.
No. Good. Mm-hmm. So to wrap up on Francis, I have a quote from him. Christian love is not a concentric expansion of interest that little by little extend to other persons and groups. The true ordo amoris must be promoted is that which we discover by meditating constantly on the parable of the Good Samaritan. That is, by meditating on the love that builds a fraternity open to all without exception. And I think that's a pretty, as a non-Christian, I appreciate that he is considerate of everything and everyone.
So I remember when they were doing the conclave to pick him. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of controversy because I think it was, I don't know if it came down to him, but I do know one of the, there's a cardinal in New York that everybody loves. I can't remember his name, but I think he was in the running for being Pope too. And I know there was a lot of controversy over because he was more open.
Right.
And had more humble and had a more open mind.
Right.
Ish. But I think because Catholic Church was losing people left and right.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why they put him in there, because they needed to bring home the sheep. The flock needs to be corralled, or whatever they say. But I do think that's why I do remember in the conclave that's what it was between him and I wish I could remember that cardinal's name.
I know. The one that was played by Lithgow.
Was he? In what?
In Conclave.
Oh, I never saw that.
It's good. It actually wasn't that good.
I never saw it.
My husband
Timothy
enjoyed
Dolan. Timothy Dolan.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves him.
Okay.
So maybe he'll be Pope this time.
Maybe.
America. No, they've never had an American one.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. And actually, I was listening to NPR and they were talking about the upcoming conclave. And the last 4 have not been Italian. So they were thinking maybe they'd come back around to that. However, the Catholic religion is growing most in Africa, South America, and Asia. So they feel like a more globally aware Pope might be better.
Well, that was also why they picked him.
And
Francis.
Catholicism is slacking off in Europe, actually.
Right. I that was also one of the reasons, because he was from South America.
Yes. And he had traveled a lot.
Yes.
Yep. So, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe let's all throw our vote in for Timothy
Go
Dolan.
America.
USA.
America. All right. So now before we get off of Francis, I just wanted to, do you remember when he came to Philly?
I do.
All right. So in September of 2015, Pope Francis came to Philly for the World Meeting of Families. And I live a little closer to Philly, maybe an hour, 20 minutes. I live from Philly. And the Italian restaurants around here all had Pope Francis on their pizza boxes. It was amazing.
Gotta love the Italians.
I know. I had a picture of one somewhere and I looked for it today, but that was 10 years ago and I just couldn't find it and then I just gave up. But but it was funny. It had his picture on it and everything. Yeah, but in the red dye,
right?
Like the white box with the
red.
red.
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. So, conclave.
Super excited about conclave.
So, conclave is a Latin word meaning a room that can be locked up, or more simply, a closed room. Members of the College of Cardinals will cast their votes behind the closed and locked doors of the Vatican Sistine Chapel, famous for its ceiling frescoes painted by Michelangelo. Another thing I heard on NPR was that the majority of the Cardinals won't know each other.
Yeah.
Because they're from all over the place. Right. And 80% of them were appointed by Francis.
Yes. I just read that Timothy Dolan was made a cardinal in 2012.
Oh, okay. And at first when I heard that, I was like, 80% seems like a really high number, but cardinals are old. So I'd imagine they have to be replaced frequently.
I think that was another thing that they were talking about when he was in there. Like, maybe it's time they got somebody younger. And I think, yes and no. I mean, okay, so I don't think the Pope really means as much as it used to. I don't think the Pope wields the power that the Pope used to in like the 1400s.
Yeah.
I think he's just a guy in a robe.
Well, there are a lot more world leaders now, so.
Well, yes. And I just think that, I don't know if a younger person is a good idea, or they should allow the older, and then you have a rollover of ideas more often.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, most leaders have term limits unless you're a monarchy or a dictatorship or whatever is happening right now. So, yeah. I think that's, having term limits is good. 2 terms is good.
Three's not in the Constitution.
3 is not in the Constitution. And I think that for that reason, that you're rolling over different ideas. It's not the same.
And also something with the Catholic Church that I just kind of thought of was, like a young person would be too much too fast. Like,
it's a lot.
Just baby steps. As
maybe pick somebody in like their 60s or 50s. I mean, we're all, hey, Gen X Pope kids.
Let's do this. All right. Anyway, distinguished by their scarlet robes, cardinals are chosen by each pope to elect future popes. A cardinal must be under the age of 80 to be eligible to vote in a conclave. Of the 252 members of the College of Cardinals, 135 are currently eligible to elect the new pope. Whew, there's a lot of old cardinals.
Yeah.
For many centuries, the College of Cardinals was dominated by Europeans, Italians in particular. In fact, the first time a non-European cardinal actually cast a ballot in a conclave was only in the 20th century, when Baltimore's Archbishop James Gibbons voted in the 1903 papal election. Now, the College of Cardinals has members from over 90 countries, with Francis having appointed nearly 80% of them. So do you think that Baltimore is America's Baltimore?
I would think so.
Yeah.
1903.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a voyage in 1903 to Vatican City, though.
For real. Well, that's why they give him like 3 weeks between the death and the conclave.
Well, they have to he lies in state, right?
He does. But I'll bet really it was so people back in the day had time to get to where they needed to be. Well, you got to find out the Pope died first.
That's true also.
And then you got to make plans.
They didn't have Google.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't even have phones.
No.
Holding a conclave to elect a pope is a tradition that goes back centuries. The practice was established in 1274 under Pope Gregory X in reaction to the chaos surrounding his own election, which lasted nearly 3 years. The tradition is old, but the results can be surprising, as when Francis himself was elected in 2013 as the first non-European pope in almost 1,300 years and the first Jesuit pope ever. All right, so the conclave begins. Before the conclave, the College of Cardinals will meet in what are called general congregations to discuss issues facing the church. These general congregations will also be an opportunity for cardinals and those from distant geographical locations to get to know their fellow cardinals. This can be a time for politicking. In times past, the politicking was rumored to include bribes for votes, as was alleged in the election of Alexander VI, a Borgia pope. In 1492.
That's when Columbus
sailed the ocean blue. That's the code for the bathroom at work, too. And I'm like, who is the geek that came up with this code? Nowadays, it is considered to be bad form and bad luck for a cardinal to lobby for himself as a candidate. Buying votes by giving money or favors to cardinals is called simony or simony, and is against church law. So I'm sure they don't do it then. If it's against.
Right. They don't do it. It's cardinal law.
Yeah. Wink, wink. 2 to 3 weeks after the papal funeral. Oh, so it's after the funeral.
Yeah.
So that's even longer.
It is longer.
2 to 3 weeks after the papal funeral, the conclave will begin. The cardinals will first make a procession to the Sistine Chapel, where electronic jamming devices will have been set up to prevent eavesdropping and Wi-Fi and cell phone usage. That's intense.
It really is. Like, I mean, come on. Is it really that?
Like, seriously, is it jury duty or what?
Eavesdropping on that. Like, who's like, what's that you say?
It's CNN. As they file into the chapel, the cardinals will sing in Latin the hymn, Come, Holy Spirit. They will then vow on a book of the Gospels to keep the conclave proceedings secret. After these rituals, the master of papal liturgical celebrations will say out loud in Latin, Extra omnes, which means everyone out.
Everybody out.
Everybody out. I feel like the Latin words are easier to pronounce than the other words. The doors of the Sistine that says chapter, but I'm going to say it's supposed to say chapel.
I agree.
Will be locked and the conclave will begin. We're going to pick us a pope. The voting process. The cardinals electing the pope will be seated in order of rank. Usually the dean of the College of Cardinals is seated in the first position, but the current dean, Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, is over the eligible voting age and will not participate in the conclave. Instead, this papal election will be led by the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin.
Yeah. So is it all 100? It can't be all 135 of them, right?
I think it is.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'd think they'd have like senators and representatives, and then they vote up, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Why doesn't everybody do things the way we do them? So much easier for me to have to learn things.
I lost my place.
And the Cardinals have us.
Okay. When the cardinals have assembled, 9 will be chosen at random to run the election. With 3 of them being scrutinizers who will examine the ballots and read them aloud. No cheating.
I mean, again, is it
no
like
cheating?
This? Okay. Seems like a lot. Seems like a lot.
What if somebody keeps like extra ballots up their sleeve or something?
What if they just put like Bart Simpson?
Oh, there you go.
Every time. What do they do? Write-ins.
I think it's all write-in.
No, I know, but like they have an idea, right? They probably have like 4 people that they're like, you got to pick one of these clowns, and then
yeah, I think in the movie it was like a bunch of them at first.
Yeah, then they pare it down, and they see who's. It's a big popularity contest, right?
Like they probably vote for themselves.
Yeah, me.
All the ballots just say
135 different votes.
It's all me.
Whole different people, and they're like, "No, you can't vote for yourself."
Oh, damn it!
And then they're like, "Hey, if you vote for me, I'll vote for you."
Yeah, and so then we get it. Still the same.
Still
result.
the same.
Yeah. Although there's
Never
always
have a
going to
new
be fuddy-duddies that are like, no, if I can't vote for myself, I'm not voting for anybody. All right. After writing down the names of their chosen candidates, the cardinals will bring their ballots to the front of the chapel and place them on a plate that is set on top of an urn in front of the scrutinizers. I'm sorry, that name is too much for me. I'm too immature for that. Using the plate to drop the ballot into the urn, they will say, I call as my witness Christ the Lord, who will be my judge, that my vote is given to the one who before God I think should be elected. A new pope is elected by a 2/3 majority. If this majority is not reached during the first ballot, the ballots will be burned in a stove. Black smoke rising through the Sistine Chapel's chimney will signal to the outside world that the election is still ongoing, a tradition that began with the election of Benedict XVI in 1914. Chemical additives are used to make sure the smoke is black because during the election of John Paul II, there was confusion over the smoke's color.
Yes. I think with one of the ones I was watching, it was like, is that white or is it black? And then it would because it would start out like gray and then it turns black.
I feel like I remember that.
Yeah.
Maybe that was last time.
The last 2 conclaves, I haven't been like, because I didn't work that much. So I had time on my hands and CNN. So when they start the conclave back up, you bet your ass I'm going to be checking that. Checking for the smoke.
Following the first day and on the days thereafter, there will be up to 4 ballots a day if a 2/3 majority is not reached. Both Benedict the 16th and Francis were elected after relatively few ballots, 4 in the case of Benedict, 5 with Francis. According to rules set by Benedict, if a new pope is not chosen after 13 days, there will be a day of prayer and reflection. Then the election will be between the top 2 candidates, one of whom must receive a 2/3 majority. This new rule, some commentators have suggested, could lead to a longer or even deadlocked conclave because a compromise candidate is less likely to emerge.
They have like Pope 1 and Pope 2, like dueling popes, or
like on The Office when they have the manager and the assistant manager.
yes, Pope and assistant Pope.
Because they're old guys, so then when one doesn't feel good, the other one can jump in and do the work.
I think we just solved it.
Yeah, there we go. All right, next, the Room of Tears. Conclaves are usually short, such as the 3-ballot election that chose Pope Pius XII in 1939. On a few occasions, deliberations have been quite long, the longest being the 1740 papal conclave, which elected Benedict XIV and lasted 181 days.
Oh my God, I don't want to wait 181 days for a new pope.
Can you
I can't watch
imagine?
CNN that much.
I know, for real. Didn't we read about one earlier that was 3 years?
I don't know.
I can't remember what I said.
I know. You know what? Everybody, when people talk about previous episodes, I'm like, I have no idea what I said.
Like
so.
multiple times a week, at least 2 times a week, Jeopardy has a clue that is something relevant to something that we have talked about. Like it happened last week, and I can't even remember the category or anything, but my husband spun his head and looked at me because he knew that we had done an episode about it. And I was like, we didn't even talk about... No, wait. Yeah, we definitely talked about that. Oh, well.
That's sad.
I know.
So I don't remember what you talked about 40 minutes ago. So.
Okay, good. Hopefully nobody else does either.
Yeah, don't pay attention to us.
But regardless of the time frame, a new pope will be chosen. Once a candidate receives enough votes, he is asked, do you accept your canonical... That's not
probably
how you say that word. Canonical election as supreme pontiff. By saying accepto, or I accept, he becomes the new leader of the Catholic Church. This time, the ballots will be burned to create white smoke that will tell the world that the conclave has ended and that a new pope has been chosen.
And then they hold him up like Simba from The Lion King.
I know. Immediately after being elected, the new pope decides on his name as Jorge Mario Bergoglio did when he was the first pope to choose the name Francis. The choice of a name, especially one of an immediate predecessor, often indicates the direction of the new pope's pontificate. In Francis's case, his name honored Francis of Assisi, a 13th century mystic known for his simplicity and love of nature.
I remember that.
Uh-huh. A lot of people have garden statues of St. Francis.
Yeah.
With like the hands and the birds. And yeah. The new pope is then led to the Room of Tears. That sounds terrifying.
I've been in a room of tears. And it's not fun.
Same. In this chamber off the Sistine Chapel, he will have moments to reflect on the burdens of his position, which have often brought new popes to tears. He will put on a white cassock and other signs of his office. His election will be announced from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica.
That's where they hold him out over
yes.
like
From the balcony, the new pope will greet the crowd below and deliver his first blessing to the world. A new pontificate will have begun.
I do remember when he was picking his name that they said he was probably going to go for something humbling, somebody like that. I can't. I just love the whole show of it. But like, what happens if you're like, no, I don't want to be pope? Nah, I'm good.
Well,
like, what if they vote you and they like come to you and they're like, yo, accepto or not accepto? And he's like, no,
not accepto.
Non-accepto. No habla inglés. No speak of the Latin.
Yeah, I mean, and even like once you go into the room of tears, what if you go in there and you're like, you know what?
Like, what if God sends you a vision and it's like the total end of the world, and you're like,
I'm good.
I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I see some 4 horsemen coming, and I feel like I don't know that I want to be part of that whole thing.
It's like if when Biden had to take over COVID.
Yes. Yes. That is one of the 4 horsemen. Disease. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what would happen. Like, I guess it has to be a cardinal, right?
I wonder if any of them don't want to be pope. And I think, yes, you have to be a cardinal because there's like steps. It's like the Girl Scouts.
Right.
You start as a brownie.
Huh.
Work your way up to
Work your
eagle.
way up. I don't know. Maybe like when they're all in the little room getting to know each other prior to going in, if you didn't want to be pope,
you go
could
around
just
and
be
tell
like,
everybody,
look,
like,
I do not want to be.
Do not vote for me.
I am not
I
interested.
will beat you down
In your
if you vote for
poping.
me.
I
I
don't want to
hear
be a
my
pope.
name come out of that urn.
Keep your name out my mouth. I don't know. I wonder. I wonder if any of them have I mean, obviously they can't tell us because I guess that's the whole secret.
I just can't imagine any of them would make it as far as cardinal and not want to be the pope.
I guess, but it's not like you get a point. I mean, it's not like you're running to be cardinal. You get I'm like, what do you get out of it? Really? I mean, if you're a cardinal, you probably have the same shit except you're not living in Vatican City.
Yeah,
like you're in a nice place to live.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Cardinal of New York. He's an archbishop now, by the way.
Oh.
He's probably got like a nice little place in New York, and he just gets in. He's on. I've seen him on all kinds of shit on TV.
That is true. What if you just really like your job?
Exactly. Like, what if you just don't want to go?
You're
You
like,
don't
fuck
want to move.
that. I don't
want to
move to the Vatican.
Yeah, I don't want to move to the Vatican. I don't want to drive around in the Pope Mobile. I don't know.
I don't want to have to find my way around that house.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's ugly. It's a lot of gold. Not a big fan.
People want to see me all the time.
Yeah, screw that noise. Dead people buried in there.
Ew.
Yeah, that's why they put the popes.
Yeah.
And like under the floorboards. It's like John Wayne Gacy's house in there. I don't know. I guess that's when you would say, "Hey, don't pick me."
Yeah, I think probably long before they all gather, they have an idea.
Yeah, because
even if they don't know each other, like especially nowadays.
Yeah, probably because I do remember, if I remember correctly, they had it narrowed down. Like CNN had it narrowed down to like 3 or 4 that it could be.
It's like the NFL draft. Who will be the first
who's
pick?
going first? Who are they picking first?
Where will Shador Sanders go in the draft? That's all I keep hearing about.
So we took a second because I wanted to see if the New York guy, Timothy Dolan, could be Pope. Yes, he could. But he is not a front runner according to Google. So then we went down a rabbit hole of who the front runners are. And then we found that you can bet, because that's what degenerates we are, that you can bet on Bet365 for the next Pope. So they have it as the odds are that Pietro Parolin, that she spoke of, that's like the head guy, he's got the best odds at 15-8 as a 35% probability. Luis Antonio Tagle is 3-1. Matteo Zuppi is 7-1, and Pedro Erdo is 9-1. It's 10%. So
It's like betting the ponies.
let's talk about who those people are.
We are definitely going to hell now. Like, we held it
Look,
together
if
so
you
good
did
through the
not
whole thing. And we ended up here.
So Parolin has taken more than 30% of the bets in the next Pope odds market through Odds Checker. Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle is a distant second with a 16.5% share. Tagle is the second favorite with odds of 3-1, out from 13-5 at the start of Tuesday, reflecting strong support for a progressive successor to Pope Francis. Tagle, 67, young,
Ooh.
aligns closely with Francis's vision of a more inclusive church, having advocated for a softer approach towards marginalized groups. His extensive experience in evangelization and his Asian heritage also makes him a compelling choice as Catholicism rapidly grows in Asia. Once seen as a frontrunner in the 2013 conclave,
Oh, snap.
Cardinal Angelo Scola is no longer considered a viable candidate by many to become pope. And now he's out to 20-1.
Oh, is he too old now?
He's 83. He can't vote.
True.
Ghana's Cardinal Turkison, a prominent figure in church
My
governance,
doctor is from Ghana.
has odds of 10-1.
Now I have a rooting interest because I love my doctor.
A leading voice for social justice, he represents the growing influence of African Catholics. At 76, his age might work against him, but his Vatican experience and advocacy for economic, environmental reforms could appeal to a wide range of cardinals. So, I don't know.
It sounds like they don't really know.
I mean, 35% is not that. That's not that good of odds. Like if I was betting the ponies, I would be definitely. Which, by the way, is coming up very rapidly.
Man, speaking of which, real quick side note, I looked up ticket prices for, which one was it? It wasn't the maybe it was the Preakness.
In Baltimore?
Yeah.
The Preakness is in Baltimore.
It's so expensive. No, it's the Belmont.
It's Belmont.
Yeah. That's what it was.
No, wait, is it?
Wait.
No.
No, the Belmont's in New York.
Yeah, it's the Preakness.
Yeah.
It's the
And then
Derby, the
Derby's
Preakness,
in
and the Belmont.
Kentucky. Yeah. So anyway, tickets were like outrageous.
Even for the field?
Yes. Like almost $300, I want to say.
Oh, shit.
And then it was an additional like $75 to $200 to park. And you got to pay to park.
In Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're probably shuffling people in, like shuttling them.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh no.
That's too much.
I do want to wear the hat though.
I know. I know.
And I love a mint julep on a Derby day.
I don't care for mint juleps.
I don't drink them any other time of the year, but there's something about,
I want to wear a hat.
yeah, I'll drink your mint julep.
Okay.
We'll get you one. You can take a sip. And
That's
then I'll
the
drink
Derby.
those.
That's not the... Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
We're not talking about horses.
Sorry.
We're talking about popes.
Oh,
We're betting on popes
not
now.
ponies, popes. Yes.
It's a different word. So yeah, you can bet on the. I had a feeling when I started going down that rabbit hole that there was this place, and Nicole was like, "Can DraftKings?" And I was like, "No, bet 365."
Yeah,
I bet DraftKings.
I said it as a joke, but then as I said it, I was like, "No, you can actually bet on anything."
Yeah,
So.
I bet every single one of those sites has Pope odds right now.
All right, that's disrespectful.
Okay. I was gonna go put some money.
No.
on
For
the
to them,
Filipino.
not to you. I mean, if it's there, you should use it. But
I might put money on the Filipino or the Ghanan
yeah,
because I think they're gonna go. I mean, it's been white guys this whole time,
always.
and then I don't know. I think I'm gonna put my money.
Well, you know what? I think of it in American context, and America is probably not ready for a black or Asian pope. But the rest of the world is a lot less close-minded than we
The
are.
rest of the world is way better than us. Yeah. So I think I might lay some money down on this. I'm gonna keep checking the odds on that Pope.
Yeah,
I
like
wonder
if
you
it
can
goes up.
I wonder if it's like all of them that are eligible, and then you can just like put like. Is Timothy Dolan like 100-1? Because I'll throw some $2 down.
That's what I was going to say. What if like one of them's like
Like a wild
2,000 to
card.
1? If he's
Yeah.
like
What if these
the 100th one?
Cardinals put fucking money down on one of these, and they're like, "Hey, we're all gonna put money down on this guy."
Well, we got to find out who they're putting their money on.
And then, because you'll see, because the odds will
We'll
start
Pete
dropping.
Rose it.
We will Pete. The odds will all drop, and then somebody will drop down to 2-1, and then we'll be like, "Well, that's totally the guy."
Yeah.
But I always bet the long shot. Always.
I wonder if you can do a trifecta of first, second, third.
Oh man.
Not that I've ever bet horses before.
No, we
have no idea what we're talking about.
No. I never bet the Derby ever.
Nope.
I'm not this year.
I didn't last year. Like, honest to God, the first one came up, and is the Derby's not
Derby's-
the first one?
Yeah,
is
the
it?
Derby-
Oh,
Derby.
okay.
First Saturday in May.
Oh,
Coming
yeah.
up quick.
And like
Or
my
the second
sister-in-law
Saturday.
texted us that Saturday and was like, who you got? And I was like, what? The Derby's today? Like I was that far.
You know what? It creeped up on me last year too.
Yeah. And I don't know why, but I don't know. I like to go to a casino if I can and place a bet, maybe bet a couple other races, not at that site, but a couple local ones.
Right.
Have them in julep. Like that's like I'm actually drinking out of a Derby glass
yes,
right
you
now. Because we went for like 4 years in a row, so I have one from each year.
You know what I did? One of my first times in Vegas was I bet Delaware Park in Vegas. Yeah, just because I could.
I would totally do that too.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I think I was taking a break from losing money at other things that I was like, you know
Ponies
what?
are good for that.
Yes, because it's $2. It's
Yeah.
just $2.
And then you got to wait too.
Yeah.
So you go make your bet.
For
I like
2 whole minutes.
sometimes I'm racing up there when it says 0 minutes to post time and getting my bet in. Other times I'm like, let me take that 10, 15 minute one and just sit here and relax.
And you know what I do?
Wait
I just
for
bet,
the race.
I bet odds and names. I don't know nothing about horses.
Same here.
I don't know anything about anything horse related. I just bet names.
I think I tried eavesdropping a few times on people, but the way they cuss and throw shit around there, they clearly don't know what they're doing either. So
the horse could be like the best horse ever, and
Just
the
having a
long
bad day.
shot just comes out of nowhere and wins.
yes, yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
wasn't Smarty Jones a long? No, who was a long shot? Somebody a real big long shot won not that long ago.
Not that long. It might have been last year.
It might have been, or 2 years ago. I don't remember yesterday, so I don't remember.
I remember when Smarty raced. I was working at Dover Downs.
I remember Smarty.
And we wanted to have a Smarty party. And we were cocktail waitresses and we tortured our supervisor, Frank. And we would beg for a Smarty. Well, I actually know what it was. They were having a Smarty party for the rich people,
Right.
but it didn't involve Smarties.
Oh.
And we were very
Disappointed.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
We complained a lot about that. And our supervisor didn't like it.
You know what it is? I think I used to be way into the horse. I mean, you remember we were way into, you know what it is? I think because there was a Triple Crown winner. And so now it's like,
Yeah,
it's not as exciting anymore for whatever reason.
that is very, very true.
Yeah. Like we've been just holding out for that Triple Crown.
We also don't go to casinos as much as we used
That
to.
is also true.
Yeah. Because my husband and I would just make a date of it. We'd take $20 each and go down and just bet ponies. Because you win every little bit. You win $13 here, $8 there. So you can keep playing for a little while as long as you pace yourself. But yeah, good old days.
Disposable income. Not even.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We got to shut it down now.
Yeah. We're getting rowdy.
We're getting rowdy. we're teetering on.
We just took another
disrespectful.
pause and things are getting very dark.
It's
and
really not. Yeah. So that was very informative. Poping it up.
It was
Although
kind
you
of
did
neat.
not bring up the Pope Mobile.
All right. Well, real quick. So the Pope Mobile was
love the Pope Mobile.
made of bulletproof glass after Pope John Paul II had an assassination attempt on him.
Yes.
And then Pope Francis decided he did not want glass.
He wanted to be shot.
Exactly. Although I still do like the comedian's joke of why do they have bulletproof glass? What are they afraid they're going to die and go to heaven?
Right. Yeah, that's true. Didn't Pope John Paul II get shot at twice?
I felt like that when I was reading it, but maybe the same person shot 2 bullets.
We did just look it up.
Yeah, we just took another pause because we just really, it's a shit show here tonight. I don't know what's going on.
I don't either.
But yeah, she looked it up and although I thought I sounded like an idiot saying it,
It was 2 bullets.
it was 2 bullets.
Yes.
I do remember things once in every blue moon.
I mean, I thought it was 2 different attempts. So
Yeah. Well, all right. It
wasn't.
Between the two of us, we'll figure
get
it out.
We'll get it.
And if you
Google.
want to really confirm it before you talk to anybody else, look it up first.
Yeah, don't go
Yeah,
by
yeah,
whatever
do not repeat what
Google
we tell you.
everything. Don't listen.
Unless
to
you like fake news, then go for it.
Yeah. Hey. It's the new rage, fake news. So thank you for listening. You can like, share, rate, review, please, and thank you.
Please.
Don't forget about buymeacoffee.com/likewhateverpod. What else? You can find us where you're listening to podcasts, and you can tell your friends to find us wherever they listen to podcasts. You can follow us on all the socials at likewhateverpod. You can send us an email and tell us how disrespectful we were of the Catholic Church. Likewhateverpod.
Sorry, not sorry.
At gmail.com, or don't. Like, whatever.
Whatever. Bye.
We'll take